Now the first job is, before I put it in the oven, is I've got these little pins that keep them together. Now there's 4 of them, one on the top left, one up here, and then there's 2 more on the bottom, one here, I haven't taken out yet, and then one here as well. I've basically just got a sharp tool and a little hammer. I'm just sort of prising it underneath the plastic, and then can sort of lift it out, lift the pin out, like that. There you go. We've got all the bulbs removed. We've also taken the rubber covers off of here, and I've just put some tin foil over these bits, just to protect them, just in case. But all the bulbs are out, everything's off, so it's ready to go in the oven now. Then we've got some notes from when I did the previous headlight. So we're going to do it at 120 for 10 minutes first. Before we did it 80 and 90 and worked our way up, but it wasn't hot enough. So we're going to do 120 for 10 minutes. I've managed to pry open this plastic without cracking it. Managed to slowly open up the gap around, and then around here, release this out from here. There was a little metal pin that was sticking in there, but we've gotten rid of that, and we're just slowly working our way around, and hopefully we can release it. If not, we'll have to put it in for a bit longer still. Right, so I got about halfway around releasing the outer casing, but then the plastic cools and it becomes harder to pry it open. So I had to put it in again for another 10 minutes at 120, take it out, and then work around the side and the bottom edge using the plastic trim tools just to pry it open gently. You just got to have patience. Most likely you'll have to put it in for multiple stages and then take it out and just do it slowly instead of trying to force it all in one go. The hardest part to get away from the edge was this bottom edge. You can see also that the sealant hasn't actually melted. The sealant didn't melt. It's just a case of trying to pry it open and move the plastic out slightly, and we can bend that back into shape when we put it back together. And it bent a little bit of the edges here as well. Right, so we've got the LED strips ready to put in. The first step is to take this black casing out of the housing. It's just held on with 3 they're T10 screws. And then on this part we're going to take this guy out, and you've got 2 T20s for that. Right, so these are the lights that I bought, the LED lights. The car sequential LED strip indicator turn signal daytime running light DRL lights. Fantastic. And I had the white and amber ones. Can get ice blue as well, but I went for the white and amber ones. And I went for 60 centimeters. Now, I measured this. If you went for 30 or 45, it's too short. Going around the inside edge of the casing, you need 60 centimeters. So that is one important thing to bear in mind. You can find these all over eBay. You can also get RGB color changing ones, I believe. The Germany CPT, he has a video on that. Ricardo's got a video on that as well. So, but yeah, these are the lights that I went for. Right, so we got the LED strip clamped down just as a demonstration. I've got it connected up to the power supply. So on the LED strip you've got 3 cables, black, red and yellow. If we connect up the red one, there we go. So the LED strip lights up. This will be the side light. And then if we connect it up to the yellow one, there we go. You can see the swipey indicator. That's one thing I did want to mention with the lights, is just make sure you get them around the right way for each light. This is the right hand light for the right hand headlight, because if you look at these you can see the LEDs are more prominent to the outside. See, the LEDs are pointing closer to this edge, which will be where the light will come out, as opposed to this edge is obviously a lot dimmer. It does have a sticky strip on it, but it's completely useless, so that's why we're going to use the glue and glue it down with the Loctite super glue. So we've got some clamps to use. Once we've applied the glue, we can put the strip on. Also found some clothes pegs that we can use to help make sure it's stuck down, starting from this edge at the end, and then work our way around over here, fold it in here, and then it'll tuck behind this part of the headlight and behind. So yeah, first one's pretty much there, and the second one's now done as well, both sides, and now we can look at the wiring. Glue's dried and we've put it back into the casing. The only thing to note here is the LED strip that's stuck up a little bit. We've had to tuck into there. Right, so onto the wiring. You'll have to take this out, two T20s, put that to the side. Now we've got the LED strip with our 3 cables. The yellow one is the indicator that we're going to connect to this green one. I've already stripped it slightly so the wire is exposed, and we're going to feed the yellow one, the yellow wire behind here, the housing, through into here and connect and solder to that. And then for the other light, turn this over. So the red and the black wire from your LED strip is going to connect to the side light. So the bulb plugs in there, it goes into that hole, but you want to tap into these 2 wires here. So LED strip, you're going to put the red onto the red, and then the black is going to go onto the brown. I've written it down as a diagram, so it makes a little bit more sense. So indicator, we're going to put the yellow wire onto the green one, and then the side light, red onto red, and then black into brown. So that's the wiring for the LED strip. Right, so with the LED strip as well, we've taken back a lot of this black outer casing, and then we've stripped the ends off, all 3 of them. I'm just going to twist the ends and then feed them into position. The yellow one behind here to come into here, and then the black and red will come behind here again, but it will come through there, and then it will come out the same. It will come out from here, and I can then connect these 2 together for the side light. Right, so we've soldered the indicator wire from the LED strip into the green one here, and that runs behind the housing into here, and the black and red one come around the back here, and we're going to have to flip this over, and then we can see the black and the red wire from the LED strip at the bottom, red into red here, soldered, and then black into brown here, where it's soldered. I've just got to cover them with electrical tape. Alright, so all the soldering's done and all the wires are taped up. Same as well for the indicators, and then we've just put this back in and put the screws back in, and then this headlight is ready to test, just to check it all works before we seal it up. Also, another thing just to be careful of is once it's all connected, just be careful when you're lifting up the lid and putting it back on, just because all the wires are now connected, so you can't pull this too hard in case you break anything. So right, so today is the testing day. It's Christmas Day. I couldn't wait any longer. We got the bumper off and the stock headlight out, and do that side. But the next job is to swap the bulbs over from the stock light to the GTI light, and then we can plug this in and check to see if the LED strip's working. So just a quick little mini helpful guide. We've got the stock headlight here and the modified GTI headlight. So we've got to move the bulbs from here to here, and in total there's 4 bolts. Got the indicator bolt, which just twists, pulls out, goes in there, and then we've got the headlight bulb that goes into there, twists into there, and then in here we've got the little side light bulb that plugs into this, and it goes into that little hole down there, and then this main one is the full beam bulb. So that's all 4. They'll sit behind these rubber covers. You just unpin these, pull it out, That one we pull out as well. And then same again, this one you have to twist. There you go, and then you can release the bulb. And then indicator one you twist and pull out as well. So that's all the bulbs. Right, this is it. Live test. Are they working? Yes, they are. That's cool. Good little comparison of the stock headlight versus the modified GTI one. One thing I have noticed with this strip is right on this edge, it's just sort of been squashed slightly. So might have to see if we can raise that back up, because the LEDs are facing outwards, but here it's sort of squashed in the corner and pointing down, so we'll see if we can fix that. Also, I found whilst I was taking off this headlight, that my battery cover things come off, which is great. There we go. Right, so at the final stage of the headlight, I'm going to put it back together. The LED strip that was being squished because of the black housing that was squishing the strip against the side, so it was in this corner. So what I've done is I've put the screw in already, and then the black plastic is behind it, so it's not squishing this corner in completely as much as it was. And the only other thing I've done, a little bit of 3M tape on here that I'm going to stick against here, so just so it doesn't move and rattle around once it's back together. So we'll just sit on this top edge out the way behind the housing, you won't see it. Right, so that is done. Clean the inside of the headlights a little bit as well before they're back together. This is the sealant I'm going to be using from Screwfix. So we're just going to go around the whole perimeter. You can see where I use the other method, I had to bend the edges slightly. So I'm just going to make sure I fill these gaps with the sealant, so there's no rain or condensation can get in, hopefully. So that is the plan, just go around the whole edge. The plastic it's pushed back into the slot. Now we're not going to put the pins back in, we're just going to go around the whole edge and then wipe off the excess. But yeah, we've got it in the gun as well, so we can do that. Next step. Right, just finished sealing the headlights. Just sort of piped it all the way around the edge, pushed it in as much as we can, so hopefully it'll be watertight. It was incredibly messy, had to wear gloves and got all over the lid and all over here, so glad I put cardboard down. And then used like a lollipop stick after, just to sort of smooth the edges as much as we can, push it in the gaps and hopefully keep it watertight. So we're just going to let that dry and go off. And then once that's done, we can then fit them back in the car. So all good. Right, so headlights are now fitted. LED lights come on with the side light bulbs. There is a difference in colour temperature, so we could potentially go for some different coloured bulbs. But the strips themselves look great. Now that it's darker, looks quite good. Let's stick the indicators on and see what they look like. So now they come on as swipey indicators. Very cool. Right, so that's the modification complete. I'm really happy with how they came out. I think they look fantastic. A big shout out to the Germany's CPT YouTube channel and Ricardo's video. I will link in the description. That helped me to modify my headlights, and I hope this video is also helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. I'll be happy to help. Next video hopefully will be modifying and smoothing a cut bumper. I'll be fitting to the Blue Motion, so stay tuned for that. More content to come. But yeah, I hope you found this video helpful and enjoy the cinematics. Peace.